When I was a kid growing up, video games were always a huge part of my life. They functioned as my escape from reality when things got rough for me, which was quite often. My first console was a Super Nintendo, and since then, over the years, I have amassed a large collection of video games and consoles of all kinds. But as a kid, probably my favorite console to play games on was my old Windows 98 computer. Amongst the games I loved to play on it, the standouts were the games from the Backyard Sports series developed by Humongous Entertainment. Backyard Baseball, the first game in the series and arguably the most popular, was released in 1997. It was an incredible game, don't get me wrong, and the lack of any pro players definitely made it stand out, especially for kids. But the game wasn't without its flaws. Two of the biggest I can remember were game length, because even the shorter option of a 6-inning game could still last up to an hour depending on how the game was played out, and save scumming, as the game allowed you to save the progress of your game and come back to it later instead of any sort of autosave feature, which meant players could easily abuse this system if things didn't go their way at any point during play. Plus, the difficulty settings really didn't seem to matter, as even on the hardest difficulty, it wasn't too hard to overcome the AI opponent most of the time. I still played this game often, but I always got too bored to ever finish a season, and I never finished any single game in one sitting. Early 1999 was when they released the next game in the series, Backyard Soccer. While many critics panned the controls, I just think they were overthinking how a game should be played, because I picked up the controls very quickly and without any practice. To me, this game was perfect, especially compared to its baseball predecessor. Autosave cut down on save scumming, games could go by quickly if you were playing a shorter game, and hard AI difficulty definitely kicked your ass and gave you a run for your money every single time. Plus, I always got so into every single game I played, and I have many fond memories of those times. One particular memory that has stuck with me the longest was the one team I loved more than anything else. The Mighty Boots. I didn't simply pick all the players with the highest stats, but I made this team work for me. Together, we overcame all who stood in our way to the top. This team stands out to me because it was the first time Kid Me tried playing the game on a harder difficulty setting, and this team was also the only one I could ever get to go undefeated, even against stiff competition. We conquered every division and tournament until at last, we stood victorious holding the game's greatest prize, the astonishingly shiny cup of all cups. Now, 15 years after the game's release, and with some inspiration from this year's FIFA World Cup, plus the discovery of a programming workaround that will allow me to play this game on my Windows 7 computer, I'm getting the band back together once again. I want you all to follow me on this incredible journey into something new for my channel, something a little bit different. Follow us as the Mighty Boots look to cement their legacy once and for all by claiming the coveted, astonishingly shiny cup of all cups one last time.
Deep in the lands of Zaron, the humans of Koopa Keep struggle to stay alive as they are attacked by the wicked drow elves of Larnia. Darkness falls as the humans beg their king to save them, a noble king known only as the Grand Wizard. For 1,000 years the battle has been waged, with only the bravery of the Grand Wizard to protect his human followers. But even though the Wizard King is so undeniably cool, the drow elf armies continue their attacks. They seek the humans' most treasured relic, the Stick of Truth. But the tides of war soon change, as news of a new kid spreads throughout the land. In order to save the humans, the Grand Wizard must get to the new kid, before the drow elves can manipulate his mind and use him to take the sacred relic from human hands. For whomever controls the stick controls the universe.